Welcome back. Yes, it is that time. I finally did it. I finally saw Wonder the movie. So it is finally time for a Wonder book versus movie. Okay, so I saw this yesterday. If you saw yesterday's video, you'll have seen my kind of first reactions to the film. I took you with me into the cinema. Didn't film any of it, obviously, because that's illegal. But yes, you got to see my first reactions. I was really pleased with the film. Going to put this down for a second. I cried 4 times. 2 of them were points where I cried in the book as well. And then 2 of them, I think, were probably the teacher in me crying and being proud of someone on their kind of journey in that part of their education system. Just, yeah, recognising teacher points where I knew that I would be proud. Sorry. Yeah, so 4 times I cried, which is more than I cried with the book. So in terms of weepy factor, although I think I did cry like 2 times with the book. So if you take away the times that I cried as a teacher, then yeah, probably. Similar cry count factor. I would just love for everybody who sees this film to have read the book first, because the major difference that stood out to me between the book and the film is that whilst you are reading the book, you've obviously got this drawing on the front. I also had the adult release of this one that just has a child with a helmet, spaceman, astronaut's helmet on the front of it, and then just the regular cover just has this, and then I think one of them has an astronaut on the back, and even the film tie-in edition, which I really secretly want because I have all the other editions, so I may as well have that one. The film tie-in edition also just has a boy stood on the front cover. It's more like this colour, but it's got him with the spaceman helmet on. You never see August throughout the book. He never says, this is exactly what I look like. And so you make up your own mind as to what he looks like throughout the book. And when I've read this with the countless groups of children that I have read this with, I mean, they've all loved it, obviously, but we've always had that discussion about like why the author chooses to do that, what August looks like in our own minds, and said, you know, what different mental pictures we have. You get through clues throughout the course of the book, most of them in like Via's section of the book, but you do get clues, so you have some idea of what he looks like. And obviously you've got this picture on the front, which, you know, gives you again some idea as well, but this is kind of misleading. It's just an illustration. So I wish that everybody who sees this film could have read the book first, so that they've made up in their own mind what August looks like, and they don't get that particular actor and what he looks like in their head as August. It was strange. I did kind of feel like, because I've read this book and reread it and reread it, read it on my own, I've read it with various groups of children, and so I've reread this book the most out of any book I've ever reread. And so I have this picture of August in my head, and he looks nothing like the person in the film. Whereas Via, on the other hand, looks very like the person that's in the film. I reckon when they were casting Via, they went into my brain and said, what does Catriona think that Via looks like? And cast somebody that looks like that. I think that Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson were great picks as Augie's parents, because I think they kind of give off the same personality traits that Augie's parents in the book give off. I think that they did a really good job of portraying those characters. One of the things that was interesting in the film, going back to the sort of my second point of book versus film, is that, yeah, you get to see more of Augie's parents and more of kind of their interactions than I think you do in the book. August obviously hears interactions with his parents, and Via hears interactions with her parents, but you don't get to see as much of that in the book as you do in the film, because it's very much more August centric, the book, even when we have other people's chapters. I think probably my favourite portrayal, my favourite kind of chapter from someone else's perspective in the book is definitely Via's section, because we get to learn a lot more about her, and we learn a lot more about August through learning a lot more about her, which is quite interesting. But I really loved in the film Jack's section. I thought that it was a very short section. The one in the book is quite short as well, but it was a very short section, and it was just done really well. I really liked that section, and that section is one of the ones that made me cry, because it was just really lovely, and yeah, there's teacher involvement in there as well. But yeah, I really liked that section. I thought the way that they did the different sections, because when you're in the book, you've got your let me see if I can find an example. Now that I'm got the camera on, probably not, but when you're in the book, you've got the different sections. So it begins with August, and then you go on, found one. You go on to someone else's section. So we've got a section from Summer, and there's a quote in this one, and I think in the other one that I read, there's a quote underneath of somebody, and then it's the start of their section, and that section is from their point of view. One of the sections in the book, here's Jack's section. There's Jack's section in the actual book. One of the sections in the book, not all of the sections in the book are done in the film, but I really liked the way they had the sections in the film sectioned off, so to speak, the same way as they do in the book. So you get a new piece of writing that says the name of the person whose section it's going to be. So this section in the book has really annoyed all the children that I've read this book with. I'm quite proud of the fact that it's annoyed them. I see why there was the choice to do this in the book, and it is Justin's section, and I don't know if you can see there, but there's no punctuation in this section. There's no capital letters. There are full stops and things, but yeah, there's not correct punctuation. And all the kids that I've taught have been like, why miss, why? You know, did no one teach him how to use capital letters properly? I'm like, well, I don't know. But yeah, there was no Justin section in the film. So there are less different narratives in the film than there are in the book, but the way they sectioned off the narratives in the film I thought was really good, and I like the fact that they kept that format. So you had August, Via, Jack, and one Miranda's section. I was like, I only saw it yesterday, I can't remember. So I really liked the way that they did that. I think you were able to get a different sense of emotion from the film than you are in the book. In the book, you've got the kind of the build up, and then you can obviously see what's coming on a page ish with the book. So it's kind of a slow build, whereas with the film, obviously it's done in a shorter space of time, so you have to get that dramatic build quite quickly. So the way they did the emotional sections, or the more sort of sensitive sections in the film, I thought was really well done, and kind of almost maybe pulled on my heartstrings a little bit more than the book did. So I thought that was really good. I think I loved the film. Obviously, I love the book. I've read it multiple times. Having seen the film, I really want to read the book again. I may squeeze a little reread into December at some point, because it's proper heartwarming. I'd really love to sit down and chat with someone else who's like a big Wonder fan and has then been to see the film. So I mean, if you are a big fan and you have seen the film, please leave me a comment below and let me know. But yeah, the only thing is, obviously you get to see August and see, what he looks like and how he is after the multiple procedures and things that he has had done, whereas with the book, that's left up to your imagination, and I quite like that. But then with any film versus book, you're going to have a different mental picture of the main character. My Bridget Jones in my head is not Renee Zellweger. My Well, no, actually, I was going to say, I haven't done a Fault in Our Stars video yet, and I was going to say my Hazel in The Fault in Our Stars is not the actress, but she kind of is. So that one works. And as I say, Via, totally the Via that's in my head. So that was really well done. It was a beautiful film. I would totally go and see it again. You know, when it comes out on DVD, I might watch it again. Or if I get a free movie ticket or something, I might go and see it again. And I would definitely recommend reading it. But please, 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 just go away. Pick up the book. It's a very quick read. It's a middle grade book, so it is a very quick read. It's beautiful, and build your own image of August before you go and see the film, so that you can have that image in your head and you had that kind of build up of image in your head. And if you can, get the copy of the book that's got the Julian chapter in, because the Julian chapter is really insightful. There isn't as much of his character in the film as there is in the book, and so knowing a little bit more about Julian before you see him in the film is also really interesting. Okay, so I have rambled on long enough. Yes, let me know in the comments if you have seen the film, read the book, or are intending to do both or either. Read the book. You know I was always going to say read the book, you know that. I will have another Vlogmas video for you tomorrow. And yes, I am going to do a couple more of these Book versus Movie. I've already hinted at the fact that I'm going to do The Fault in Our Stars. I'm currently watching Big Little Lies on DVD, so I'm going to do one of those because that was one of my favourite books of a couple of years ago, so definitely going to do one of those. And yeah, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so that my next Vlogmas video will hit your subscription box. And if you did enjoy this, please give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I will see you tomorrow. Bye!